It's time to go coast to coast on CMRU.ca. Bringing you everything new in the hockey world, here is Landon Brown, Alex Burko, and Phil Trombley.
And
How
it
are
is
we
a
doing?
good morning. It is a great morning.
Yeah?
It is a great morning.
Yeah. We've got NHL back.
Yeah, who's
Yeah.
excited about that? Holy cow.
I was so excited. I
What a
was like-
start to the season,
What
too.
a start, eh?
I've got no
Craziness.
homework done. I was planned to do so much yesterday. I got none done. I was watching too much hockey.
I cleared everything off before I had to. I cleared everything off before reading break started, honestly.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I just have one essay. Carter's also got the one essay.
Is that the comm essay?
Yeah.
Oh,
So we
brutal.
do have to hammer that out at some point.
Well, that's fun.
You guys got unlucky with that one. That's unfortunate.
But I also didn't feel too bad about it because watching hockey is kind of like doing homework anyway.
Yeah.
For this show.
Exactly.
We have to watch.
Yeah, we have to watch hockey.
Yeah.
So that makes it pretty fun.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So, a couple things to obviously. First things first before I throw to Phil, because Phil wanted some time off the top here.
Yeah.
Special 2-hour show today.
Absolutely. We're going to take a bit of a longer intermission between the 2 hours just
Yeah.
so I can get some caffeine into me.
So,
Yes.
just to kind of break down for any listeners here. So, first break is, as it typically is, at about 10:30. We're going to play a couple songs. Then we're going to do another break at the top of the hour at 11.
Yeah, or 11:15.
Yep.
Whatever works with how we're talking.
And then we're just going to run through, because we haven't given our predictions for standings, for individual awards, for anything like that. So
We're
we're
gonna
going to
do
do kind of news stuff first from 10 to 11. And then from 11 to noon, we are going to do some season predictions for you.
Yeah.
But Phil wanted to have the first say off the top of the show. So Phil, go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanted a couple non-hockey shout-outs real quick that were a little kind of important to me. I don't know if you guys know, but I am a big fan of downhill mountain biking. And they have a full like World Cup circuit and everything. And this weekend was the second last of the season, and it was in Mont Saint Anne in Quebec. And a Canadian kid won it. Kid's name is Jackson Goldstone. This is his first year on the elite circuit.
That's actually the perfect name. For
That
it,
is a
Right?
name.
That is a
Yeah.
sick name. He's from Whistler, BC. Of course he is.
naturally.
And he's the second Canadian in as many years to win the Canadian stop.
That's
on the
really
mountain
exciting.
Bike World Tour, which is super cool. What's really cool is one of Canada's top guys. His name was Stevie Smith. He died in a motorbike crash 7 years ago, and until last year, he was the only Canadian to have ever won there. Last year, another Whistler kid, Finn Isles, won there, and then this year Jackson won there. So that's pretty big. Very exciting for Canadian mountain biking,
Yeah,
which
that's
I
really
think
cool.
needs more attention because it's such a cool sport.
If I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't know there was like a national
oh yeah,
uh,
it's insane.
tour or circuit, I guess.
Yeah, a World Cup tour. It's crazy.
I had no idea.
Um,
I thought it was, just more like a Red Bull like sort
Yeah.
of thing.
And then on that topic, tomorrow is probably one of my favorite sporting events of all time. It's this thing called Red Bull Rampage.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you guys have ever heard of
Everyone
this?
loves Rampage.
No.
You have
So
to.
basically, it's on this barren mountain in Utah, and each rider gets a team of 3 builders, and they go up a week before the event, and they build their own lines.
Okay.
They build their own. A few of the jumps are pre-made by Red Bull.
Yeah.
But everything else is made by the riders and the builders, and they get 2 runs, and it's just the most insane stuff you've ever seen. If you haven't watched the event, I'm sure you've seen highlights from it.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty recognizable. Like the dirt is very red, but like the jumps they do are crazy. Like there's this like 85-foot canyon gap that people mountain bike and backflip, and then like if you miss that gap, you die.
That's
Like
so
this
nuts.
is like these features are do or die, and it's such an exciting event. And Canada's got a pretty good history in that event too.
I remember
So
we used to rent that when I was like 16 on YouTube. We would rent that and
Oh,
watch it.
oh yeah, it's on Red Bull TV. It's free to watch. It's on at 9:15 a.m. tomorrow. So if you guys are up, I highly recommend
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
watching it. It is the craziest thing you'll ever see. It is insane.
Speaking of insane, we've had a few big money contracts the last
Yeah,
this,
some
this week.
big money. Now we'll get into it. Let's
Yeah,
get
do we
into the
want to start
nitty-gritty.
with the contracts, or do you want to start with the past couple nights?
I'm cool either way because my computer's still updating.
Cool.
So,
So I did actually have a plan for all of this. So we're gonna
do
start
it.
with the past couple nights first. Obviously focusing more on last night because 2 nights ago we could kind of talk about it a little bit. Nashville Tampa was better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, let's start with 2 nights ago because
Sure.
Vegas, holy cow, they haven't missed a beat.
Now they look so
They
good.
look amazing.
Do we want to talk about their banner racing thing or no?
It was cool. I think how they did it was awesome.
Yeah, they
There's a
put,
debate on whether it was extra or whether it was good.
it's
of course,
Vegas.
it's going to be extra.
It's Vegas.
I mean,
I'd be
they
disappointed
have
if it
What do you
wasn't
expect?
talent
extra.
there to do these like Cirque du Soleil things. Why not use
Yeah.
it?
That's true. It could have been way more.
It could have
extra,
been. It could have been
honestly.
way more extra.
Like, yeah, I think they did a great job. And
I
knowing what we know
liked
from
it.
the production side, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. The slot machine was sick. The way that the slot machine hit the 3 Stanley Cups and immediately started raising the banner.
Yeah.
I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, I mean, some of it's going to be on the nose. It can't all be like the most creative thing in the world because it's still a sporting event.
Oh,
It's gotta
yeah,
be. You
but
can't. Yeah,
You can't expect Vegas to not.
it's not
going
going to be
like
an like an artsy indie film.
No, like
it's
it,
gonna
no,
be
it's
a
not. It's not gonna be
blockbuster.
like a French film.
Yeah,
No.
It's gonna. It's
It's a
gonna have
very-
some. It's gonna have a lot of flair. It's gonna have a lot of panache.
yeah. I know. I liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, no,
And then they came out and absolutely
oh, dude,
were unstoppable.
it's gonna be a good team to watch. I've got my Western Conference Championship shirt going.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to talk about the game? Look, winning 4-1 over the Kraken.
Yeah, what a game.
Kraken looked rough, eh? That
Honestly, they didn't look too bad.
They were their bottom couple of lines were actually going really well. As the top that seemed to struggle a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
the Kraken is a pretty deep team.
Yeah.
I think.
Brandon
Uh,
Tanev getting dunked on twice.
Yeah.
Well, not dunked on, but embarrassed
Well,
twice.
yeah, but Howden got a suspension for that.
We're going to talk about that in a bit. But there's also that goal that he scored on his own team.
Yes.
Yeah, like it
there
was just
that.
Didn't help.
There was that.
You
you
Silly
could tell it was the
Tanev.
first game of the season for
Absolutely.
the full team.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Like, obviously, there's going to be a little bit of rust there.
with both teams in the first period, you could kind of see it. Even the head coach for Vegas said that. He was like, "Yeah, both these teams are a little messy right now, but
Yeah.
that's gonna happen." It's
because
the
like
first team.
even with this preseason, it's not much of a warm up to the
Yeah,
regular
I mean,
season.
but you got to feel bad for Seattle because, I mean, one team is gonna get it every year, but like facing the guys that their last game was the best moment of their lives,
yeah,
like facing
Yeah.
those guys right away, first game of the season, that's always gonna be a rough way to start your season.
It's either going to be a rough way to start or it's going to be a great way to jump out to the season because it's either A, the cup winning team is like Vegas was a couple nights ago and just ready and ready to tear down everyone again, or B, they have a cup hangover and they're slow. They're
well, like
slow out of the gates.
the Montreal route. I know they didn't win, but they went to the final and then they were the completely different team the next year. 'Cause
Yeah, I was more thinking. I know it's a bit unfair to kind of pick this team, but Colorado,
yeah,
because they had injuries galore that season.
but that's what
the season
happens when you
after.
go to the Cup final. Like
Yeah.
for Tampa Bay to hold on to who they had for that many finals in a row is insane to me.
Yeah, Pat Maroon getting 3 cups.
Yeah, like it's not surprising that Vasilevsky finally gave out.
They're both Russian. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Both Russian walls down in Tampa Bay. But yeah, Vasilevsky, I'm not surprised that he like actually got hurt now.
also 2 nights ago, as we touched on the Preds and Lightning game. Speaking of Vasilevsky, Jonas Johansson pulling out a win on
Yeah.
the first game where Vasilevsky's out.
Yeah, and I
That was
realized that Vasilevsky's out, but honestly, Nashville played really good.
That was better than I thought it would be, honestly.
Yeah. Novak, I was really
What
surprised
a
with him.
goal, eh?
That was such a nice goal.
I think it was shorthanded, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was also the first time I'd ever heard anyone call him Novechkin, which I thought was kind of funny.
Ovechkin.
Novechkin,
What a
that's clever.
nickname.
Yeah, there's another guy on that team too, Evangelista. I heard his name a lot, and he was always out there.
I've heard his name in passing.
Yeah, I don't know where he fits in their depth chart, but he was all over the ice. He
Yeah.
was doing really good.
Really noticed him. Last game from a couple nights ago that, honestly, it's kind of funny that we bring up last.
Chicago-Pittsburgh.
Chicago-Pittsburgh.
Crosby scored on that, didn't he?
What's that?
Crosby scored on
He
that,
did.
didn't he?
He scored the second goal, which ended up being... What a rough goal.
Yeah.
Did you... Peter Mrazek, oh my God. What are
He's doing
you
his
doing?
best.
He's not, though. I was watching that game live, and the moment I saw him drop down to his butterfly in the top left corner of his crease, you're done. You're done.
Yeah, so
'Cause
that was a 4-2.
I was surprised that they started him, to be honest. I thought they were going to go with their other guy.
Can you name the other guy? That's why they didn't go with him.
Lankinen, I think.
Nope, Lankinen's in Nashville.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind then.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you who Chicago's backup is right now.
I was just surprised that they went with Mrazek.
I mean, who else would you go with?
Well, that's the thing.
Who was their backup? I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can figure it out, though.
I mean, it kind of looking at that game. Obviously, elephant in the room was Bedard's first NHL game.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to what we were just talking about. Seattle coming into your first game of the season is against the powerhouse of Vegas. Kind of similar on a personal note from Bedard, right? Because he's coming in. It's his first NHL game. He's an 18-year-old kid, and he's got to take a face-off against Sidney Crosby.
You're not going to win
Are you
that.
kidding me?
I know.
I would
that was
love to
so
see
cool.
the stats on how many face-offs he actually won, because I don't think it was a lot.
That night?
I was
Yeah.
looking at Sidney Crosby's stats for face-offs over the last couple of seasons. He wins over 1,000 a year.
Yeah. do you want to know how many face-offs Bedard won in the first game?
I would
Yeah.
love to, yeah. 0.
None.
Was it 0?
Yeah, he was
It
having
was
a tough
0.
night
He was-
against-
he was-
Well, I mean, you're
he was-
against Crosby.
He was
man.
0 for 11.
He also just doesn't quite have his man strength yet.
He's also
Dude,
on
he's
Chicago.
so small. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
he's also on Chicago. That sucks.
The backup for you weren't gonna get this. The backup for Chicago was Arvid Soderblom.
Oh, it is?
It is. You weren't gonna get it.
No, I was never going to
No.
guess him. Because I honestly thought he was way farther down that. I thought they had more goalies than that. What happened to
No.
Chicago?
No, they're not
They
great.
sold the farm for Connor Bedard.
They did. Well, at least it worked out for them.
How much? Do we know how much Bedard's getting paid?
I can tell you.
No, not past his max entry level salary.
Connor
No.
Bedard,
It's like $700K.
$950K.
$950.
Okay.
But he'll get I remember when Lafreniere signed his, he ended up getting $15 mil that year in bonuses, endorsements,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
merchandising.
Well, I
so-
mean, Bedard's already doing. He did. Oh no, that was someone else that had the weird Hyundai commercial that I thought was just.
Zach
a-
Hyman, Mark Scheifele.
yeah,
I don't
Scheifele does a lot
remember
of
who it
them.
was, but I thought it was just a regular interview to kill time. and then
Jason
he
Robertson?
shouted out his Hyundai Elantra on how that was his first car,
Shut up.
and then it turned into a Hyundai commercial. I was like, really?
Oh,
Wow.
Come on, man.
that was so sneaky.
so
Low-hanging
sneaky.
fruit.
They caught me. Alana would love that.
Do we want to jump ahead to last night?
Yeah, let's do
Sure.
it.
'Kay.
I think last night, if the season continues on like what we had last night, man, are we in for an entertaining few months of hockey? Holy cow!
Are you talking as an Oilers fan, a Canucks fan, or a hockey fan in general?
Hockey fan in general.
Leafs.
3 hat tricks. One of them was a 4-goal hat trick. Nice that was against Edmonton. I know Carter's listening, so any day that Edmonton gets smoked like that is a good day to me, especially because on Sunday, for those of you who don't know, Carter's one of good friends of the show. He's a huge Oilers fan. He's also a huge San Francisco 49ers fan, and I'm a big Dallas Cowboys fan. So seeing Edmonton get smoked that hard after Carter rubbed it in my face so hard that the 49ers smoked my Cowboys, it's a good day.
Well, yeah, I also do know that Carter can lose his temper pretty quickly talking about Jack Campbell.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's a
should we
good
bring
thing to
up
talk
Jack
about.
Campbell?
Do we want to start there? Or do you want to start chronologically just based on the day?
We might as well start with Edmonton.
'Kay.
We're talking about it.
Last
Yeah.
last
We
game
all
of the
wanna
night,
talk about it.
Yeah, last game of the night. But yeah, like I said, any day for a Flames fan, for an anti-Carter fan, any day's a good day when Edmonton gets
Though,
smoked like that.
Honestly, watching the game last night, I didn't notice McDavid or Draisaitl out there.
So a little bit of
Draisaitl got the 1 goal.
a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. I work at Pro Hockey Life on 130th.
Yeah.
And we pretty much have to play hockey the entire time. So we record games.
Yeah.
But you can't record multiple games at the same time. You can only record one. So I had the choice of either recording Flames and Jets or Oilers and Canucks. I recorded Flames and Jets.
That was a great game too, though.
It was a great game. I kind of wish I recorded the Canucks and Oilers, though.
Yes, that was the one I didn't see. I was flipping back and forth between LA and Colorado.
I
then
didn't see
Edmonton.
any of the Canucks and Oilers game because I was working until 9:30. Then I went to go play hockey after. So
I saw the last
It
5
was
minutes
hard.
because it switched to it after Calgary won.
It was hard. I couldn't look away. It was a blowout. It wasn't really worth watching. We all knew it was going to
it was
happen.
a train wreck, but it's a fun train wreck.
Yeah,
'cause
it's
it's not
I
your
couldn't
team.
look away. Also, in the hockey pool, I'm that's not with you guys, but with my work friends. I have both Oiler goalies, and they did me dirty last night.
No.
They played both goalies, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
they
I just
did.
started them both because I didn't know which one was going to be the starter this year, so I picked up one on free agency when Svechnikov got hurt,
Sure.
and then threw them both on my lineup,
Yeah.
which was
It's-
just a bad thing to do.
It's funny you mentioned this just before we came on air. Their stats are identical.
Yeah, they had
The
both
Campbell versus Skinner.
equally horrible night.
Yeah.
12 to 16 save on shots. So identical save percentage, which is
Uh-huh.
kind of cool. Like,
I mean,
It's too bad. It
I'm
was
pretty,
8
I'm pretty sure.
goals.
I'm pretty sure- I feel like Carter would say that's cool.
yeah, yeah.
But it's also hard to win a game with one goal. Like Edmonton just didn't show up last night.
No, but that's okay.
But Vancouver, on the other hand, didn't start like last year at all. They wanted to get out and get ahead of that this year.
Yeah, Vancouver's going to be interesting to watch this season. I think we can touch on it a little later when we do our predictions.
Oh,
but,
definitely.
the Vancouver versus Calgary race might be the one to watch.
Is it a Vancouver Calgary race?
Well, it was last year to get in the playoffs.
That last playoff spot.
Yeah.
I
like-
think it's going to be similar. I think both teams are looking better. Obviously, we've seen one game, but
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
if Vancouver can hold on to that for the season.
well, yeah, you beat Edmonton Oilers, who everyone's touting to do it all this year.
Did you
Not,
hear?
not if they score one goal a
Also-
game against the Canucks.
I heard that Demko left that because he left in the
Yeah,
third
he
period.
like puked
I-
in his
yeah,
mask.
I literally just scrolled down and I see that Casey DeSmith had 3 saves
Yeah,
or 5 saves.
he
Sorry.
played like 8 minutes, I think.
He played 11 minutes and 46 seconds.
Yeah, so it was
What
like,
happened?
Demko, like the flu was going around the Canucks.
Yeah, and
Oh,
he had the flu, and
no.
he also had like massive dehydration.
yeah.
So I saw his
Massive
coach.
dehydration.
His coach said he puked in his mask,
Yeah.
which
I mean, he played
brutal.
pretty outstanding for having the flu. I
Yeah.
missed our show last week because I had the flu.
yeah, crazy game. You love to see it. You love to see Edmonton lose, especially like that. I don't know. Edmonton is such a weird team. Like, you have so much money in these two guys that are arguably the two best guys in the league. Well, one of them is the best guy in the
Yeah.
league. And you lose 8-1 to the Vancouver Canucks.
So an article on
10-0 to the Flames in preseason.
Daily Hive. Midway through the third, Canucks up 7-1 on the Oilers on opening night. Thatcher Demko left the game. It wasn't clear what happened to those watching, but the Canucks star goalie headed to the dressing room and didn't come back. Thankfully, it wasn't an injury, to quote Rick Tocchet. He didn't really want to come out. Then when he puked in his mask, I said, "You gotta come out." Like, yeah,
That's brutal.
that's rough.
That's
I mean, like,
That's really funny, actually.
as
that he wanted
a-
to play.
like, from an athlete perspective, that just sucks. Like,
So he started feeling dehydrated.
Yeah.
Do you not have a water bottle on the back of your net?
well,
yeah, but when
do,
you have the flu, it's different.
yeah,
yeah, fair
you need,
enough.
like,
he
7
needed
of
like
them.
Pedialyte or something.
Yeah, Pepto Bismol.
yeah,
yeah.
Demko is one of the many Canucks that has had the flu recently.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad. Like, as I was
Sorry
an
if you're
athlete
eating your
for a
breakfast, by the
while,
way.
and
If you're listening to this and you're eating breakfast, sorry that we're talking about Thatcher Demko throwing up in his mask.
I always said I'd rather be injured than sick, because being sick sucks.
Being sick sucks.
because you feel like you should be able to still train, to still compete,
Yeah.
but you just can't, and you literally, it's a little bit of imposter syndrome. Like, you're literally like, I should be
I should
still
be doing
doing
this.
everything,
Yeah.
but you can't. And it sucks because you have this with Thatcher Demko, another non-hockey related. We had a Formula One race this weekend as well. It was in Qatar, and one of the drivers had to pull out because he was about to puke in his mask in his helmet from dehydration. Like, that kind of thing, it just sucks.
Yeah,
Like-
well, that's why they had to move the whole Qatar FIFA to the winter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just because of that. So
Maybe just don't host sporting events where it's plus 50 degrees.
Maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Do we want to move back chronologically to the game before that?
Yeah,
Avalanche
let's
and
do
Kings.
it.
Sure.
Pretty good game. I watched the game recap. I didn't watch the full game.
Rantanen scored a really nice goal.
Rantanen scored a beautiful goal.
The 3-0 goal.
Would that have been the 3-0 goal?
I think it was. It was.
Looked like 3-0
it was
or
very similar to the
4-2.
Novak goal.
Let me pull it up here.
From the side of the net there, sniped it right over the goalie's head.
The goalie on. Wow.
The 4-2 goal.
Who's the goalie in LA right now?
Talbot.
Oh my, they have. Oh yeah, they don't have a good tandem, do they?
No, I honestly thought
The-
LA was
the,
gonna. I
the
thought LA
Talbot
was gonna
Copley
push
tandem.
for Hellebuyck. I thought they were gonna make a big push for that. Just
You
to
know
try
who
and
LA's
secure-
missing right now?
I think there's still time. What?
Sean Chagall.
Yeah, I should have expected that one honestly.
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't see that.
I
one
don't know
coming.
why I didn't expect that.
Um,
I think if there's a deal, we'll get to Hellebuyck later. If there's a deal to be made there, I think you would want to wait to see how he does.
Yeah, well, I think like just because he signed that contract too, I don't think he's off the moving market at all. I
No,
think
absolutely not.
That just makes it easier for him to move. Almost.
Yeah, that just means that there's a hard number that you can actually work with.
yeah,
this just
because
confused
he
me.
signed a pretty nice contract.
I'm
He did.
looking at the box score for that Kings game.
Yeah.
And I know I think we talked about it either last week or the week before. There's a guy on the Kings. I don't. I just see a Lafreniere.
Oh, Lafreniere.
Oh,
And I
yeah,
saw that
Lafreniere.
in passing, and I was like, when did Lafreniere get traded?
Nope.
And I was like, no,
Different
they're
guy.
just two guys with very, very, very similar names.
Yeah.
And they're long enough that when you're scrolling through a box, like,
I think his name's also Alexi.
of
It's like
course it is. I mean,
Alexis
that's a
Lafreniere.
French name. That's
Yeah.
as French as it gets. That's so funny.
He got in a fight last night, I think.
Did he?
Yeah.
Let's go.
His dad was there. They kept showing his dad in the stands all pumped up.
Well, I'm seeing 7 penalty minutes for him. So, yeah,
That'll do.
that'll do. And 4 shots. Maybe
Yeah.
that kid's going to be good. Better than Lafreniere.
Honestly, I think LA's a pretty good team.
Lafreniere versus Lafreniere. Who wins?
Well, I don't know.
I think it's a laughing contest.
I think they should
Ah.
fight at one point.
Ba-dum-ba-bum.
I haven't seen where Lafreniere's playing yet because the Rangers haven't played. But I'm very excited.
He's still on the Rangers, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like they were
Were they
trying to
they-
figure out between Capo Caco and Lafreniere. It looks like they have Caco 1 and Lafreniere 2.
Kako won.
Yeah, with Zibanejad and Kreider.
So obviously they're focusing more on Kako than they are on Lafreniere then.
Well, they got Lafreniere with Panarin and Hedl, so like that's a solid top
That's a
6.
solid
That's a
top
banging
6.
If
top
everyone
6.
shows up, actually, it's like solid top 9 because they have Wheeler and Trocheck on the 3rd.
I don't know about Wheeler.
You don't
I don't know about Wheeler.
I think
This
he's
is the Wheeler that was in
like Blake
Winnipeg?
Wheeler? Yeah.
I
He can block shots like no other.
He was pretty good in Winnipeg, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
He was good in Winnipeg, but there were multiple points during his time there where he was. To call him a non-factor would be to do him a compliment.
He's also like 36, so I think the 3rd line's a good spot for him.
How long is his contract?
I think he signed a 2-year. I can't remember, though.
Rangers. Blake Wheeler's contract is until 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's fine. Dump him after this year because
I think it's a little insurance too because they weren't sure what Kane's gonna do.
He's 37.
37. Okay.
That's not. I mean, I guess if you want a bit more veteran presence on that roster, that's a good signing.
Yeah, I really
'Cause-
like the mix of veterans and young guys on the Rangers. To be honest.
Hardly anyone is. Almost everyone is 30 or under.
Yeah, and like their defense too, like Keandre Miller. I'm so excited for Keandre Miller. I thought he was gonna get the top spot. I knew he wouldn't, but I was thinking he would play with Fox this year. But
Hands up if you just found out that Nick Bonino is a Ranger.
Bonino.
Jonathan Quick and Igor Shesterkin. That's a low key scary goalie tandem.
yeah,
That is a very scary goalie. I'm still mad at Jonathan Quick, though, for not playing a single game.
Yeah, I forgot you had a gripe with him.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, LA did him dirty.
And then Vegas did him dirty.
Yeah,
And did me dirty.
Columbus was the only team that was good to him last year. He didn't even play.
What
Seeing
else
as
do
we're
we
not
got?
talking about the Avalanche and Kings game,
Oh yeah,
Where do we want to go next?
the game before that, the game we can actually talk about,
Calgary?
Calgary.
Calgary.
Calgary Jets. At the start of the game, pretty touching tribute to Snow's
Yeah,
family.
well, very, very well
Very
done.
well done.
Very, very well done. I'm excited, man. I think we look way grittier than we did last year. We look like we might be able to hold our own. We definitely look better than last year.
yeah. How did the young guys do?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm so excited for Coronado.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for him.
Coronado is going to be a big deal this year, I think. He's going to be our saving grace.
His parents were in the stands that night or last night.
Yeah?
Nice.
Yeah,
I see he got 3 shots. It's pretty good.
yeah. Manjapane with a 3-point night.
Yeah, and the first goal of the season. I like they posted on TikTok like, you know, those things where they come off the ice and they
Yes.
have to talk to the media guy. They asked him Asked all the players who they thought was going to get
Of the
there
first goal. Yeah.
A lot
yeah.
of them said Markstrom.
A lot of them said Markstrom because they're so funny.
Kadri put so much thought into his answer and then said Markstrom.
Markey. Yeah.
I was like, really?
Sure.
I don't think anyone said Mangiapane. And I really like Mangiapane.
I would have to watch it back. I don't remember.
I don't think so.
I like Mangiapane.
I love Mangiapane. Breadman.
Yeah.
I think he's great. Rasmus Anderson got a goal as well, carrying my team. Hannafin with an assist. Scheifele.
Sexiest player in the league, Mackenzie Weegar, also pulling out a goal last night as well.
Yeah. Zadorov with the assist.
And I'm also
Love
seeing here
Zadorov.
that the Flames picked up AJ Greer from Boston.
They did. I'm weirdly excited about that pickup
Yeah, that could be
because that's
very
some
interesting.
grit that wasn't on there before.
Yeah, I think that's a very solid pickup for Calgary, to be honest.
If
Yeah.
I can give a little bit of a shout out to Kelsey Snow for holding it together,
Yeah. Yeah.
She did pretty good.
because you could see that you'd see that she was crying a bit earlier, but the moment she stepped on the ice, she tried to hold it together, and kudos to her. Because if my significant other died after a 4-year battle with ALS, I'd be at home.
Oh, yeah.
Like I wouldn't be moving from my couch, honestly.
For sure. Yeah, touching tribute. Very nice to win that game, especially against another Canadian team.
I'll admit I was worried about Markstrom after the last Canucks preseason game
Oh,
where he
yeah,
let the
me
first
too.
goal in the first shot. I thought, okay, cool, it's another season of this then.
Yeah.
He held it together really well.
Nope, he did good. Save percentage of .91 or .92 if you round. Pretty good. I got to say, I think we got outplayed. It's just nice to actually take a win from getting outplayed because we saw that go last season so much.
We got
where
outshot
we-
a lot.
Yeah,
we got
30
outshot by
37 to
15.
22.
Yeah.
But we saw that a lot last season where we would outplay a team but we'd still lose. So it's nice to be on the other side of that.
Yeah, definitely. Finally, those shots are starting to go in, not just
Yeah.
hit the goal.
Yeah, exactly. Now we just need the Hitmen to do the same thing.
And I see here, too, that Alex Iafallo scored his first game with the Jets,
You did.
Yeah.
Good pickup for them.
which is nice. Yeah.
From the Kings in the Dubois deal.
Yeah, he came over in the Dubois deal.
As we're coming up on 10:30 here, just a real quick pass over the first 3 games of the night. Bruins Hawks. Bruins coming out 3-1 over the Chicago Blackhawks, but that is not the story coming out of that game. The story coming out of that game is what?
Bedard's first goal.
first NHL
Bedard's
goal.
first goal.
And
And
it
then we
was
can talk
nice.
about this after our music break a little bit. It was a nice goal.
It
I'll give
was.
him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, great
Quit.
goal. What I
Gotta
loved,
play to the whistle.
absolutely. What I loved is they come together. Like I'm just seeing a picture of this on the NHL website. They come together. He is so small.
He's
Yeah.
really
He
tiny.
is so I knew he was small. I didn't know he was that small. He comes together and
I
like
think
Hall
he's-
is like
he looks
3
pretty
feet
excited
higher than
there.
him.
I think he's like 5'9", 5'10",
Yeah.
185.
Yeah. Tiny.
Tiny.
That's
tiny,
how tall
tiny,
I am.
Tiny man.
Yeah. Same. But
I'm a little heavier, though. I think I'm like 20 pounds heavier than that.
yeah. Same.
So, yeah, I'm
But-
a little harder to knock over.
It was a nice goal, especially because it was almost a recovery goal. Like
Yeah.
that's not what he wanted to do with the play. You could see him planning out the play
Yeah.
right before the goal, and that back pass. I forget who it was to, but that back pass was so nice, and then it bounced off the guy right in front of the net, and Bedard's like, "Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Beautiful wraparound. There's your first NHL goal."
And then Sherwood's Instagram page blew up.
Of course it did.
Yes, his assist was nice the other day, too, in the first game.
His assist was
Where
really
he-
The
nice too.
the
He, like,
secondary
cleared out-
assist.
Yeah, he cleared out that whole area
The
of
secondary
ice.
assist that really matters.
Yeah, like he did
Like
all the
it's
work.
like typically a secondary assist is just I passed to a guy, who scored. No, he actually set up the play in this
Yeah.
on this goal, which I found pretty
Yeah.
Well, it was
impressive.
like in
Absolutely.
basketball when you cross someone over and they break their ankles. It was like that's what he did to the person covering him on the side there.
Did you see the Marchand thing?
Yeah, I love that.
What did you think of that?
That was so funny.
Yeah,
I like
that was a bit of a punk test, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen,
It,
right?
it was a bit of like a welcome to NHL kind of thing.
Absolutely, and it's kind of the same thing that Fleury did in that preseason shootout,
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
which I thought was great too.
Yeah.
like it. You can't expect that to not happen, especially when you have this kid that has so much behind him.
Yeah.
like
So much pop, so much
Yeah.
fanfare.
I saw they
I
even
guess
had
the
him
word is.
warm up without a helmet the other day.
They did let him do that.
They did let him do it, and
Obviously.
oh no, how are the Blackhawks going to pay for that fine?
Yeah, it's not like they have other fines to pay
Oh
for.
yeah,
I'm
Um,
pretty sure this fine's bigger than the other one they have.
it shouldn't be.
you know what? It might be.
Like, I honestly think it is.
But I don't know. people are gonna pay that. Like, you got so many millionaires on this team, like
Yeah,
on all the teams.
I'm sure their not their head coach, their GM.
The GM or the captain, someone's gonna.
Well,
pay
I mean,
for
it's
that.
good for the NHL too. They might not fine him. They might have.
They're gonna. Well, they have to.
Or I mean, they could just release a statement saying he's been fined, and then just not fine him.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that's
I
all.
mean-
That's all we would know.
Well, what's the fine? What? That 100,000, if
I don't
that.
know. They did
For
make
the
it.
for the no bucket thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
They made it pretty steep, but I don't think it's like that much.
Well, I mean, he's making $1 million
'Cause,
a
like,
year plus endorsements.
Yeah, but the
so-
max fine for when you slash a guy or whatever is $5,000.
Yeah.
So
Like, that's.
I
nothing.
imagine it'd probably be in the area of 20, 25.
yeah, like I think it is a bigger
Yeah.
deal, but it's
Yeah,
still
but that's nothing to
when you're
because
making.
because of a freak accident involving Taylor Hall when I was like 11.
Yeah.
Jumping off of that game to the Canadians and Leafs.
Another really, really good game.
It was really
Like,
crazy.
The
That-
Leafs almost threw it away, and then they didn't, and then they almost threw it
Classic.
away again, and then they didn't.
With my guy Matthews.
Yeah.
My first round pick in our fantasy draft.
This is what I'm talking about when I say that I hate the shootout. This is what I'm talking about.
You thought it kind of killed the
I thought it completely killed it.
killed the vibe of the
I
game?
thought it completely killed it. Admittedly, I stopped watching when it went to shootout. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. I don't care. I
Yeah.
really don't.
It can be tough, yeah.
It was Marner who won the shootout, right?
Sure.
I didn't see the shootout. I had to leave.
Fair enough. I saw it in
house.
passing. I was playing pinball, but it was a great game. I think it looks really good for the Canadians, especially because Toronto's kind of in that conversation. I mean, they always are. They're kind of in a similar situation as Edmonton, right? Where
But-
they have these super high paid superstars that they can't make work. They made it work last night.
They
Well,
were
good
working
for them.
good last night.
They were working great last night.
The problem with the Leafs over the past couple of years is that they've been really good against mid to top level teams and then horrible on the bottom level teams.
Yeah.
I think there was a
Yeah.
stat released last season at some point where it took their wins and losses against the bottom 4 or 5 teams and they were like 0-7-2 or 1-7-2 or something.
Classic.
I don't know what it is. I don't know how you have that much star power.
It's just probably mental. They just think they can take a little bit
You
of
play
gas
down.
off.
Yeah.
That it happens all the time.
But
Like
Yeah.
the thing is, yeah, it's like when you take the gas off, that team that's at the bottom of the league is no longer a bottom team if you're not the top team.
yeah, I mean that
Yeah.
that always happened. Again, like going into my experience as an athlete, that always happened to me. Like when I showed up to the races where I had to perform, you do it.
Yeah.
But then when you go to like a little bit more chill races where maybe they're like the guys that are there are younger than you and like, on any given day you beat them.
Yeah.
Then you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that hurts a lot.
a
But you're
good
like,
wake-up
but then you
call.
look back and you're like, oh, maybe I should have waxed my skis last
Yeah.
night. you know? We did that once actually. We had a race, just like an open fun race in Big White.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a warm up race for a big tour that we were going on. And we go, and the first race we didn't wax our skis because there was like the 6 of us on our team,
Sure.
and then like 4 guys from a lower level team.
Yep.
And they all like waxed and juiced their skis.
Sure.
And we didn't. And then we got smoked. So our coach comes to us, and like again, it was just a fun night, like fun weekend of just chill racing. So we're having beers in the chalet like after the race, and our coach comes to us, and he was like, "You guys might want to wax your skis tonight." None of us did, but we juiced the next day and we won. But
I like it.
yeah, but that happens, right? It happens in all levels of sport. You play up, you play down. It's like when you see guys that are like from countries that have no business being near the podium in the Olympics and then get on the podium, right?
Yeah.
We saw that there was a Greek ski racer who got his first podium in a World Cup and he'd never been heard of. So it happens
Yeah, that's the best part of
across all
sports.
sports. Yeah, that is the best part of sports.
Then wrapping up the recap from last night, Hurricanes 5-3 over the Senators.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a bit of it. Again, I was working at the time, so I couldn't really sit down and watch all of it.
I didn't see that one.
I just know Stutzla scored because I'm a big Stutzla fan.
I was-
fair enough.
I was driving myself bonkers because in another pool that I'm in, I have Brett Pesce,
okay.
and he got involved on nothing. He only got 4 penalty minutes, and that was it. Despite him being on the ice a bunch of times, just never managed to touch the puck before it went in. Great, love him. Pick up, awesome.
Can we talk about the Carolina Arena?
Sure.
What about it?
I was just listening to before we came on the show. We found that video of all the goals from last night.
Uh-huh.
the Carolina barn sounds like the barn to be in.
Yeah, it's the craziest
it's
place.
so loud. Like when they score, like they lost, right?
Yeah.
But like when they scored,
Oh,
it
no,
was
like
it sounded
Carolina won.
so sick. Carolina won. So
No, because they were the first
would be a
place after
cool
the
arena.
pandemic too to have a full arena.
yeah,
I remember, and it was just the craziest place then too. Like Carolina looks like a fun place to go to hockey games.
absolutely. I would love to. And we were talking about Vegas does too.
Yeah.
Like I mean, people crap all over
You-
the
Nashville,
Vegas. Nashville, Nashville in general would be sick to go to. but
Nashville, I think my dad went to a game in Nashville and said it was pretty loud.
I
Said it was
would love to go
cold,
to
weird.
Nashville in general.
Yeah, seemed like a fun place to be.
Yeah, but like, same thing with Vegas. Like, it would just be so cool to experience just something different, right? Like, I love our routine here at the Saddle Dome. I love it. Those
Just
guys
like
are
a
from
real
Calgary.
DJ.
They've got stuff on Spotify and Apple Music. They're such nice guys.
Band name is what?
Passing Pluto,
If
which
you
is a
do want to
sick
give them a
band
quick
name.
listen.
I've got a
Maybe
sticker on my
are they on
laptop.
Spotify?
Yeah.
Maybe we can throw a link on it when we throw it on there.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
A
Yeah,
link
they're,
to the
they're
song.
good guys.
Yeah,
They're
I'll
good guys.
whack it on there once I throw it up on YouTube there. So on this back half, before we get into our predictions, we're gonna break down the games tonight. A couple suspensions, a couple signings, a couple injuries that we should probably mention that
Yeah.
came out recently. But first, as is starting to become tradition, I imagine Phil has something to say.
I'm
first.
just curious, what you guys do you think? Like, I mean, he's played 2 games now.
Connor Bedard.
What do we think?
I think he
are-
looks
is
really good.
there?
I think he looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's looked good so far. I worry about his size.
yeah. Does he look as good as we thought?
I think he's still a little nervous. I think he's got some butterflies still.
Fair enough. I mean,
Um,
anyone would.
I mean, he
Trying to
forgot
take
his,
it all in.
He forgot his stick first.
That
day.
was
What
hilarious.
do you? Obviously, he has butterflies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone's going to.
So it's like, but first 2 games, he's got a point in each game. Like you can't ask for much more than
no,
that.
that's true. I agree. I think he's
Yeah,
looking.
especially
He's on
on a
pace
team like
for 82
Chicago.
points.
Yeah,
A point per game in Chicago. That's pretty spectacular this year, I'd
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's going to be fantastic. I just hate that he's in Chicago. But I am glad at least that we get to watch a lot more Chicago games. I was really worried if he went to like Columbus or something, we'd never see him.
yeah.
Kind of like Crosby and Ovechkin, like when they went to their teams, we see them, but we don't see them as much as we see like McDavid.
I thought he was going to either Anaheim or Arizona.
Yeah. I was hoping Arizona. I like Arizona quite
I
a
was
bit.
hoping Vancouver.
You were hoping
would've
Vancouver.
been
I
a
thought it
Cinderella
would have been
story.
so good to have him in a Canadian team,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like obviously
Yeah.
Bedman would never have let it happen.
Montreal would have been sick too.
But like he's from Vancouver, it would have been cool to see him in
Yeah.
Vancouver.
I mean, hey, he's only
Yeah, maybe one day we'll.
this
see
is
him
his
in
first
Vancouver.
year. We'll see.
So just getting past that, 7 games on the docket tonight. First, we have the Rangers and Sabres.
Yeah, that'll be a good game.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
actually very interested in that game because Buffalo this year.
Whoa,
I'm
yeah,
very
they
interested in
might-
Buffalo.
They might do a thing.
And I'm a huge Rangers fan, so of course that's why I'm going to cheer for the
Okay, so you-
Rangers. But
So you're going to keep a pretty close eye on that one.
yeah, but the
Uh,
Sabres are interesting.
I'm going to keep a pretty close eye on the one that starts on the same time, Flyers and Jackets.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see
What about
how...
Dallas,
Bottom.
what about
feeders.
Dallas?
St. Louis, Dallas. Like Dallas is kind of a sleeper team.
Oh, I we'll get to our predictions
They're
later.
both
but
Yeah.
sleeper
I'm,
teams,
I'm
honestly.
hot
Yeah,
on
that's
Dallas.
true.
I think Dallas is pretty
Dallas is
stellar
good.
this year.
How about
Uh,
the Cowboys though?
Red Wings, Devils, Panthers, Wild, Kraken, Preds. Both Kraken and Preds lost their first game, so it'll be a battle of who can win their first one.
Yep.
And Golden Knights and Sharks wrapping up the night.
That Devils Red Wings one I think is going to be really fun too, because that Devils squad. I just hope they get to go on the power play a lot.
Yeah, and then Calgary's next game is with Pittsburgh on Saturday.
Pittsburgh coming off of a set. No,
Yeah, they lost. No, they won.
yeah, they did. Sorry,
No, they did lose. Yeah.
I was mixing up. They will be coming off a back-to-back on that day as well.
Yeah, I
they'll
think
be
it's going to be a tough game for Calgary though.
they'll be in Washington and then they'll be in town here.
Yeah, Sidney Crosby.
Early start.
7 p.m. Oh, Eastern time, 5
Yeah.
p.m.
Yeah, 5
Yeah,
p.m.
5
That's odd.
5 p.m. here.
That's so weird.
Um,
That was one thing, like the Flames game last night, the Vegas game on like the other day. Holy cow, did it go late?
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
Vegas game, not only because they got delayed by the game that was on TV the day before.
Yep.
Or the like before it.
Yeah.
And then Vegas had their whole ceremony. Like puck drop wasn't until 9:30.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm ready for bed.
I'm gonna stop watching.
It was like 11:45, and the third period was just starting. I was like, come
Yeah.
on, man.
I did pull a dad move and fall asleep in the chair I was sitting in.
Atta
Nice.
boy.
Nice.
Woke up at like 3:30 a.m. and walked to my bed.
That happens.
I love that.
That happens a lot.
I love that. Couple things with the other home team, Calgary Hitmen. They've played 2 games since our last meeting. They're still on their big old road trip across the east. They played Moose Jaw on Saturday, and then they played Regina last night. The Moose Jaw game was, the Regina game was fantastic. That was on, that was yesterday. Oh my God, I'm getting mixed up. The Moose Jaw game was fantastic. The Hitmen played. No, I'm looking at the wrong games. What am I doing?
So
We love you, Phil.
3 games. 3 games
Yeah,
since we
so
played. This
four-
Brandon game.
Yeah,
That's the one I
4-3
was thinking
Brandon
of.
win, 5-3 Moose Jaw loss, 5-4 Regina loss.
Yeah, tough one. The Brandon game. That's the one I was thinking of. The Brandon game was fantastic. They played so well. Their first game with not their first game. Recent game with Sean Chagall back in the lineup. And
Do you prep these notes before the show?
No.
Okay.
Not today.
Okay.
Usually when I go to see the games, I do. But
Yeah.
the away games, there's just so many, especially with NHL back on. Sean obviously back in the lineup, and what a way to start! 2 goals in like 20 seconds to get his first and second of the year. He also got an assist on the game-winning goal. Ben Kindle got a goal. Carter McAdams got a goal. Right now, the top line is kind of Sean Chagall, Carter McAdams, and Carson Wetch, I believe. And what a line. Like, they're in that game at least, they were looking good. Things are coming together. Unfortunate, hard losses. The other 2 games, 4-5 to the Regina Pats yet last night. Regina Pats obviously just reeling off of losing Bedard, but they're looking pretty good. Ben Kindle getting an assist there. Kind of big news for the Hitmen. One of our guys, Graydon Seatman, we just traded for a new defenseman who's looking good. He's younger than Seatman, but which is kind of what you want to do, especially when you don't really have a team that can go all the way to the cup.
Yeah, start prepping.
Prepping up, which they're doing. Like, our rookies looking really good. Like I said last week, but yeah, this new defenseman, he's grimy, he gets in the corners, he fights, like he's more of what the Hitmen need. So Hitmen are looking good. Unfortunate start to the season, but there's promise in there.
We're so early still.
So early still. And I mean, starting off with a road trip this big is tough.
Yeah, that's never easy.
Buenaventura with the win coming out of Brandon. Then they went back to Alex Garrett for the loss against Moose Jaw, and then went back to Buenaventura for the game against Regina, which is also a loss. When we come back to you on the 19th next Thursday, they'll be done their road trip. On the 14th, they're in Saskatoon. On the 18th, they're in Lethbridge, coming back home to face Seattle on the 20th.
Yeah. Seattle's a tough team. Seattle's going to be tough.
Are they the Thunderbirds?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And they won the whole thing last year, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they won the whole thing.
Yes, I'm
Not
pretty
just the Memorial
sure
Cup,
I saw it.
but the big one.
Yeah.
Whatever it's
The
called.
Calder?
No, that's
No,
AHL.
Calder's AHL. The other one.
I know
In
what
any
you're
event.
talking about. I can
But,
see the shape of it.
A little bit of a plug here. My girlfriend's parents is 2 billets. Sean Chagall and Ben Kindle are leading the team in points with 5 apiece. Also tied with Carter Yakimchuk, which is good. Carter needs it. So
You hear that, Carter?
Yeah.
Yakimchuk?
Get on it. Get in the
Yakimchuk.
first round.
He needs it.
Go play in the big show.
We all just want that
in
for
the
him.
big show.
We want that for them.
Yeah.
We really want that for them. But it seems like the goalies are kind of picking it up a little bit, but tough losses. That's how she goes.
Yeah.
That's hockey.
Done with our Calgary Hitmen corner for the day.
Yeah, that's good.
Got-
That's enough.
You got your fill in?
Yeah, I did. And everyone else did too. I can just leave now.
story coming out of the first night that we touched on, but are going to dive into a little bit deeper now. Tanev got hammered.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a hit and a
Tanev got
half.
hit.
That one looked like it hurt. I saw that one and I was like, ooh, that's not good.
What do you think hurt more, the hit to the head or his knee after?
I think the hit to the head still probably.
Yeah, he
hurt
probably
more.
couldn't feel his knee because he got hit in the head so hard.
True.
Have you ever? It's not so much even when you get hit in the head, but it's like when you just like stop and that inertia.
Yeah, like
and it almost feels like your brain keeps going, which I guess it does because there's like liquid suspending your brain.
Yep.
So it feels like
That's
your
what a
brain keeps
concussion is.
going. Yeah, I feel like he would have felt like that, and it just would have been, seeing stars and stuff. Probably a little
Coming
whiplash too.
off of that,
My massage
Howden,
therapy background
coming
kicking in.
coming off that Howden hit on Brandon Tanev, he's been suspended 2 games. Fair.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's fair.
I think that's absolutely what it. 2
this
games
early
is
in the
perfect for that.
season, like
And
I-
Howden's not known for
I-
that.
I could entertain 3 because that's precisely the hit that you don't want.
Yeah.
So I could entertain a stupid tax of 1 more game.
yeah,
It happens too because like Tanev is one of the faster guys in the league, and everyone's still just getting into gear.
yeah.
So like Howden probably just like wasn't moving his feet as well as he should have been, and
Yeah.
he just threw his body. Obviously, there's a little aggression there too because everyone wants to win, throw big hits, score big goals. But
At least to this point, I
Get pucks in
haven't.
the net. Get puck, Steve.
At least to this point, I haven't heard anything about Tanev being injured.
that's good.
Yeah.
So
I
hopefully,
mean, he'll probably be because what did we just say? Seattle doesn't play tonight, do they?
I don't believe so.
I could see him being out, like just out of precaution for a game or two, but
they do play tonight.
They
yeah,
play.
I'd
play
be surprised.
Predators.
Nashville.
Yeah. So maybe we
We'll see.
won't see.
I'm
him
also
in the lineup
surprised that
today, but-
Tanev's on Seattle's 4th line. That also really surprises me.
Yeah.
They're
I
a
mean,
team
he's
that
not the best Tanev, so
they're a team that comes. Wow, they're a team that comes at you in waves.
I know because when we look at them, especially when you're trying to like pick up a Seattle player for fantasy, it's like who do I take? There's no
There's no standout
definitive
guy.
superstar except for Beniers now, but
Yeah.
um,
Alexiak,
yeah, I love
big rig.
Alexiak.
Let's
but-
go.
gold medal winning family.
But like you could just pick any of them and they will get you a point
Yeah.
or something. Like they'll get you an assist or a goal because they all end up on the score sheet every freaking game
Yeah.
somehow.
Speaking of fantasy, you guys suck.
I actually had a good
How
night last
dare
night.
you?
My first
sir.
night was
Look at my
rough.
points, then come back to me.
I'm getting swept with Sierra's team.
Even with the points adjustment that we just did for the penalties, I'm still crushing everybody. Like, I'm at 50 points. The next highest is Ben with 36. So, do with that information what you
Oh,
will.
I haven't checked since we updated.
I'm looking at it right now.
It's so
You are
fun.
at 24.6. You're just behind. Sierra.
Did you
Just a little
guys?
bit.
I got Robertson playing his first game tonight, though. That's what I'm waiting for.
Fair enough. I don't have a lot of people playing tonight. I have Marchessault and Eichel tonight.
I love
and
Marchessault.
Shesterkin. And Shesterkin will get me good points.
I love Marcia so.
Did you guys watch the Bruins and Hawks game getting into another injury that we have to talk about?
No.
Oh, the Taylor Hall one?
The Taylor Hall one.
Yeah.
What
I
happened?
did see that. It was kind of like a blind side, I guess.
I'll send you the link on Instagram here, Phil. But
Yeah, my computer died, so.
okay, so you can pull out your phone then.
Oh, Landon's pulling it up.
Okay, so Landon's got it there. He says the article from NHL.com says he's week to week with an upper body
Let me just
injury.
wait here for that.
It's a bit of a blindside hit. There wasn't a penalty called on the play, which I agree with.
Here, we just have it here now. Let
Yeah.
me see this.
For those of you that
Week
have
to
not
week.
seen it,
Here it is.
Hall kind of gets
Oh.
Hall gets a little bit of a
It's really awkward.
it's a little bit of a suicide pass, and he looks like he's kind of stumbling a bit as he's taking the pass as well.
Yeah, like his body is at a different angle than his like lower body. His upper body is straight up and down. His lower body's at an angle. He was just so vulnerable there.
Like he's
That's so tough. It looks like a bit of a fluke as well. Like,
so Brandon Carlo is the person that hits him, and at the moment of contact, Hall's head is level with the numbers on his sleeve. Sorry, Hall's head is level to the numbers on Carlo's sleeve.
yeah.
Which I know
Because
Hall's.
he's like mid-turn.
I know Hall's short. He's not that short.
Yeah, but he was like leaning down to get the puck.
Yeah, you can see that there's a pretty significant bend in his knee. He's fairly low.
Yeah, I don't think it was like malicious at all.
No,
not
at all.
Like that's just a hockey play. Like
Yeah, and they're big guys going fast. They're going to run into
especially
each other.
against Boston.
Yeah.
I would say that. What's Chicago gonna do now that one of their top scorers is out? They might get worse.
They
You're
might.
gonna
They're-
pass it to Bedard.
It's
more.
Chicago.
Or they might
It's Chicago.
like Tyler Johnson or someone might get
Can you
the
get
chance to step
can
up.
you get worse than the bottom?
Oh, yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
There's being a bad team and knowing you're a bad team, and then there's being a team that ends up bad, kind of like Columbus last year.
Imagine being as
The
bad
Columbus ended up
as
bad.
Chicago was, and then actually having repercussions for like the bad things that they did.
Imagine.
Imagine how bad they'd be then, instead of being gifted like a generational talent in rewards for a huge scandal.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, we haven't
it was-
forgiven them, Alex.
No, of course not.
The Coyotes were fined more for their. I think they had something to do with kind of prospects and.
Oh yeah, they tampered. They definitely
Yeah,
broke
like
the rules.
they tampered in the draft, I think it was, and
Huh.
they had to give up picks and various other things, and the Hawks thing resulted in $2 million fine,
Yeah, something
something
like
ludicrous like that. Are you kidding me?
That. $2 million fine, but then also the first draft pick in a huge draft.
yeah.
So, slap on the wrist
Yep, absolutely.
to
I mean,
$1 billion organization. Like,
Absolutely.
are you kidding me? Speaking of scandals, I
okay.
know we weren't sure how much we were going to talk about this when we were talking last night.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
The
Okay, yeah.
clampdown on special cause nights.
So
I figure we're all kind of on the same page as this, but
I imagine we are.
We should
Um,
mention it a little
Yeah,
bit.
just so let's just go around the horn.
Yeah.
I'm
So I did.
I'm for a special, like, I'm for the jerseys, I'm for the tape, everything. Phil,
I'm for it. Like, I've volunteered a lot with You Can Play at like the Hockey is for Everyone games. They're such special nights,
Mhm.
and they really don't change anything about the hockey. Like, are you kidding? Really, this is the hill that they're gonna clamp down on.
No.
Especially after what we just talked about with the Blackhawks and the thing going on with Hockey Canada. Like, really, this is what we're gonna
Well,
be.
and of the Bruins last year too. They signed the contract with that guy and then immediately terminated it because he's a bad dude. And he made fun of that.
what's his nuts?
His name was like Mitchell or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
I completely forgot his name.
But like,
If you want to just state your position on the whole,
oh sure, yeah. I think the banning of it is ludicrous. I think,
cool.
especially the tape. Like I could
Yeah.
see
So-
why teams. Honestly, I don't see it because even from a business perspective, you're literally just selling more merchandise.
So someone looked at the rule book on this, and there's no rule on what color tape you can. There's no rule on what color tape you can use in the NHL. If you wanted to, you could just use rainbow tape.
Yeah.
like you can. But they're putting
Except for
this,
now.
this this ban it's not gonna hold any water.
Well, no.
What sucks is if you're in the NHL's position now. Do you guys see who commented on all of this?
no.
Among the Flames, Backlund, Anderson, but one that should really raise eyebrows for the NHL's marketing team.
McDavid did, didn't he?
McDavid commented
Yeah,
on
Yes.
it.
David did.
And he
McDavid
was
commented
like,
on
"What
it.
is going on?" Like, especially like those
The-
nights are so special.
The general tone around that is, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Really?
It's like all you talk about is trying to grow the sport of hockey,
And
then-
it's not.
and
And
then you
it's
out-
not. It's not just pride.
No,
'Cause
yeah,
there's-
like that's the big thing. A lot
No,
of people, when we say these things, is like, "Oh, you guys just want Pride Night." No, it's not just Pride Night. Pride Night's obviously one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
and it is very important.
Mhm.
But
Mil-
there's
military
military
night,
appreciation
Hockey Fights
night,
Cancer.
Hockey Fights Cancer, Indigenous Night.
Yep.
Like, these are very important things, and a lot of people, and you see this across all sports, like the separation of like keep politics out of sports and stuff. It's such a stupid take. And people are gonna hate me for this. I can already feel someone typing, but like, you can't. It's such a big part of culture. It's such a big part of everybody's lives. It's gonna be a part of the political movements.
Yeah.
And
Especially-
if you don't, ignorance and just like ignoring issues and ignoring the like your responsibility to take a stand.
It is just
is
kicking the can down the road.
ridiculous.
So here's what some people don't understand about all this. I had the opportunity last week to go to this kind of race workshop thing through work, where it helps you kind of discuss dialogues on race, where to kind of discuss from what not to do, don't do it on it, don't does kind of things. Yeah. And they gave out these pronoun pins of which way you identify, and I'll admit I didn't put it on immediately, but then the point was raised of it's not for you.
Yeah.
It's if someone is kind of, I don't want to use the term reliant, but if someone does have different pronouns than they were assigned at birth, then they feel okay talking to you about whatever.
Yeah.
The pride tape isn't for the straight men and women in the dome.
No, it's not.
It's for people in this area who have been victimized, who have been,
they've been kept
mistreated,
out because of that issue.
Yeah.
cut out because
like the fact that
of who they are.
3 years ago, only 3, maybe 4.
Mitchell Miller, by the way. I just saw that name. Mitchell Miller.
But
Go ahead.
like only 4 years ago, we had our first out NHL player. Only 4. Like that's nothing.
Lucas Pro.
Yeah,
Cop?
Luke Prokop.
Boosh, let's go.
Who
Hitmen.
actually not for a long time, but he
No.
was actually one of my parents' billeted, or not my parents, my oh my god, my girlfriend's parents
There you go.
billeted for him for the 2 weeks he was in Calgary. He played like 3 games, but super nice guy. But I don't know. A lot of people think that not like just being like not having an opinion on it is okay. And people think that being not actively against it is the same as being for it. And when you have issues like the ones that these Knights take a stand for, it's just not. It's if you're not standing with them, you're against them.
Well, and that's the thing too.
Even if you're not actively trying.
It's like so common and accepted here that sometimes I forget that it is an issue. I mean, obviously I have a little privilege because I'm not part of the community.
Yeah.
But it just seems like we are just so fine with it. It's like, why is this even an issue that NHL is worth like spending time talking about? Because if they just did it and didn't listen to the people, like there's always going to be criticisms of what you're doing. Don't listen to the loud criticizers.
Yeah,
like,
and it's
the
such
3 players that wouldn't wear the jerseys last year, then whatever, they didn't wear them. But the whole community gets to rally for one night.
And
So-
especially with the ban of pride tape, like no one's forcing anyone to actually wear the pride tape. People like the jerseys, maybe
They're just for warm up.
But the pride tape, A, it's just for warm up. B, the pride tape, if they really want to wear pride tape, who cares? It's pride tape. Like pride tape is sick. It's a cool organization. They helped out my girlfriend when she went to the Olympics for luge. She wore it on her spikes.
I actually saw that.
Like it's such a cool organization. The tape looks sick.
It does.
Even
does
if
look
even
cool.
if you're not wearing it for that reason,
Yeah.
it's cool tape. Like
It's a
come
little
on.
personality. It's not just
Yeah.
So-
Everyone's got black tape.
So I set a timer on my phone for 11:10 just because we have other things
Yes,
to
we
talk
do.
about. But I do want to mention one more thing here. So the thing with the jerseys last season, I can understand Ivan Provorov not. I can understand Ivan Provorov not wearing one because if my family was in Russia
Yeah.
and
It's
I mean,
if
Zadorov does everything. He talks out against Putin and stuff too.
well, but his family's here though.
yeah.
I guess
It's like
a
if
little
you
easier
had
for
like
him.
I don't know. I get it. You don't want to put your family in danger, and
What drove me nuts?
but if that was happening to 7 players on every team, it'd be a different story. Like it's happening to a handful.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
And they're not
that's
being
an
persecuted
awful
for it.
situation. But so they don't have a jersey, they don't wear the jersey. You can still auction off a nameless jersey.
Yeah.
You can still and then like who did he play for?
Philly.
Philly. It was a superstar on Philly.
Oh God,
Kevin Hayes last year.
Kevin Hayes.
Yeah.
His jersey.
Not anymore, St. Louis, but still.
Say he auctioned off a jersey. His jersey is going to give way more to charity. It's going to give enough to charity that the money that's not going to charity because of the one jersey that didn't get worn,
Yeah.
It's a moot point. Like that kind of
Yeah.
thing, I kind of understand. It's a different situation over in Russia.
The Eric Stahl thing drove me nuts.
Yeah, because he wore one in Montreal.
And then when reporters were like, "There's photos of you
yeah,
wearing one," he's like, "No, there isn't."
yeah, the Stahl brothers
We
really
saw a video. What are you
really
talking
upset me
about?
about that.
uh,
The Stahl brothers really lost a lot of points in my books. Just
It's like you're getting paid so much money. Just wear a jersey for 20 minutes.
just be nice.
Like
Not even 20
even
minutes.
if you're against it, like just
I don't-
do it.
Yeah,
Like you're the employee of an well, I guess not anymore. The organization apparently doesn't care about it anymore. But
No.
at the time, the organization did.
Yeah.
And you're an employee of that organization. And it's not like they're asking you to talk about it. They're not asking you to go on the record publicly supporting it. They're asking you to wear a jersey, man, with your name on it.
Mm-hmm.
Chill. Or give me your money.
Also,
Give me your $10 million, and I'll wear whatever you want me to wear.
also as a jersey collector, the jerseys are sick.
The jerseys are so
They're
cool.
sick.
one thing
The indigenous one last season.
I was
last
just
season,
gonna say, yeah.
sick.
And honestly, yeah, I guess we're going like a little bit on the WHL as well because they do these nights as well.
They do.
The WHL Indigenous or the Hitmen specifically, their Every Child Matters jersey is one of the most like the jersey I
That's
see
the
worn
jersey
the
I'm
most.
That's the jersey I'm looking at getting. I
It's
haven't gotten
such
it
a
yet.
sweet jersey,
Mhm.
and the Military Appreciation Night Flames jerseys are so cool. Like those camo jerseys are sweet.
They are.
And like, it's easy to get wrapped up in, oh, this is about Pride Nights. It's not.
My fiance
said
loves
that.
the Hockey Fights Cancer jerseys.
The Hockey Fights Cancer jerseys. Like, there's so many other things
She's
that are suffering
she's
now.
huge on
Yeah.
purple, so she
I-
loves that stuff.
I also
Yeah.
specifically love when Ethan Bear gets to wear his
The
name
Cree
bar.
jersey.
That
Yeah.
is cool.
Ooh,
That
I
is
love that.
so cool.
Because I also I've noticed they've started doing it a little bit more with the Finnish and Swedish names where they put the
The
German
accents?
names, the accents and things. But it's really cool that sometimes they let Ethan Bear do that. I think it's usually for warm up, but still, it's really cool.
Yeah.
No, I've seen it in game. I'm
He
pretty sure.
plays games with it now.
I'm pretty sure.
When he was in
I'm pretty sure
Edmonton, it
last
I
year
just
he
think
did.
I've seen a game.
When he was in
Yeah.
Edmonton, it was just the warm up. But in Vancouver, he definitely.
I think
probably did a game.
Carolina let him wear it for a game.
Yeah, see, that's really cool.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And, like, that's such a little thing that to most people doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But to
It's
a
their
lot,
name.
but to the people that it's supposed to mean something to, it means a lot to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, big picture stuff.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
absolutely.
Also,
At
it's
the end
their
of the day-
name. It's like
yeah, it's their name.
it's the proper way to do their name.
Yeah.
Not convenient for just to anglicize it.
Yeah. And it's probably less lettering on the back of a jersey anyway.
Yeah.
Save money.
Because I think they put the dots above Stitzel's name for the U, right?
Yeah, and Hoaglander for the O.
Yeah,
They were the first ones I
Yeah.
think that did it. And now there's a bunch. Like I think that Amon in Vancouver as well has the little circle above the A.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. I don't think he's on the team right now. I think he's
Real quick before we get into our predictions for the last 43 minutes here. Scheifele and Hellebuyck signed big contracts. Hellebuyck took less. I theorize that it's to be traded easier. I don't think Scheifele's going to see the rest of his contract in Winnipeg.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair assessment.
Because by the time that finishes up, he's going to be 38, I think I said.
38.
The last big year that obviously it's an average hit of 8.5, but the base salary, the biggest base salary year is 27-28, where it's 10 mil. After that, it is 9, 7, and then 6. I think around that 9-7-6 area, he either gets traded or bought out. Because who wants a nearing 40-year-old on their team aside from maybe Jaromir Jagr? In 2027, he gets a modified 10-team, no trade clause in his contract as well. So he has some choice on where he goes. Yeah,
Big money for Owen Power.
Yes.
big money for
Buffalo
Owen
spent
Power.
big this week.
$8.3 million for 7 years.
I
Crazy.
honestly didn't know he was due a new contract. It just seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
Our boy's growing up.
They grow up so fast.
But no, that's a big
That's
haul for
huge.
him.
That's
That's
big
kind
money.
of that's similar to the Quinn Hughes deal that Quinn
Yeah.
Hughes got
Yeah.
when he signed.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course we have Darlene at 11 mil coming in for 8 years. He signed that this week too, which is that's a big spend.
Honestly, if you are Buffalo, looks like all this is just kind of retooling here.
Well, Buffalo's in the perfect situation now with the cap going up and the age of their players. Like
Yeah.
they did stumble into a little bit of a good time there with the money wise anyway.
So-
'cause
Yeah, I think so.
their young guys are still on their entry level deals, and these guys are the first ones to get their big raises.
Yeah.
Players signed past 26, 27. You know what? We'll go past 26, 27. 'Cause that's really just 4 years out.
That's
they have
scary.
1, 2, 3, 4. They have 5 players signed until 2027.
Yeah.
So they're looking primed to.
And I'm assuming Alex Tuck will stay around there too, because that's where he's from.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I think Calec Poso is done in the NHL after this year. His contract is up at the end of this year. I think he's done.
Excuse me.
Casey Middlestad's due for a contract after this year. Same with Victor Olofsson, Peyton Krebs, Eric Johnson, Henry Yoki. How are you?
Yeah, I'm just very excited for that team. I think
Yeah,
they're going to be.
I see. This is the first time I'm saying this for Buffalo. I see some big things coming up for them, honestly.
Should we start our predictions at Buffalo then?
Sure.
Since we're talking about, we can just work alphabetically. We can just come back around to the A's and the other B's.
Or we could just do it based on division.
Okay,
and
yeah, we
start
could do
in
that
the
too.
Atlantic with Buffalo and Boston.
Sure, let's do that.
So.
I think Buffalo's going to be really good this year.
Eight-
I'm so excited for Buffalo.
The 8 teams in the Atlantic are Boston, Buffalo, Detroit, Florida, Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, and Tampa.
They got
if
such
you-
a young team. Like, just in general.
Yeah, like especially like Jack Quinn too.
Jack Quinn, Dylan Cousins, Tage Thompson.
Tage Thompson's been an absolute steal for them. I think they trade him for
Absolutely.
like a 5th round pick
Yeah.
or something.
And
And
then
Ryan
he got,
O'Reilly.
there's like that one game I remember last year. He got like 5 goals.
Yeah,
And I tweeted, I was
he
like,
did that
save
twice last year.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah,
And I tweeted, I was like, Save on Foods is so happy Tage Thompson doesn't play for a Western Canadian team. Because they would have had to give away $1 million. Twice. Yeah, they'll be good. They'll be good.
So last season, Boston finished 1st, Toronto in 2nd, Tampa 3rd, Florida 4th, and then it was rounded out by Buffalo, Ottawa, Detroit, and Montreal in that order.
Boston's going to be hard to mess
Boston
with
is
again.
probably the toughest
They're-
one to read as of right now.
They didn't move much over the.
they had the big retirements.
Yeah,
that's true.
They lost.
Bergeron.
They lost a centerman who's probably going to be renamed after the Selke Trophy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's probably going to be the Patrice Bergeron Trophy in a couple years here.
But they got Lucic, so they're looking good.
That's a fair trade.
yeah, that's a fair trade.
I think that's a
Bergeron for
wash.
Milan Lucic, I think that's good.
yeah. I'm still my opinion about Boston's still out, but I think like obviously they're not going to do as good as they did last year in
No
the
one will
regular
ever
season.
do as good
So-
as they did
But I
last
feel
year.
like if they do make the playoffs, they could make a good push
A
down
lo-
the road.
I think
I mean, you can't do much worse than you did last year in
Yeah.
playoffs.
a lock for
exactly.
playoffs. I think in the Atlantic are Toronto, Tampa, Florida.
Yeah,
I think
can
those,
see
I
that.
think
I would
I think
agree.
those 3 are the only locks. They not much has changed amongst them since last season.
Yeah.
The
I think
Panthers,
Buffalo
the,
climbs in.
the
though.
Panthers lost Radko Gudas, which loses a little bit of grit. Toronto added some with Reeves.
Toronto got really
And
tough. I
Domi.
think this is Toronto. I think their best roster going into a season in the
Yeah.
last like 5 years. I like going in last
yeah,
year.
I have less questions about their defense.
Last year at the deadline, I think they were maybe one of the solidest teams they've ever had with
Yeah.
O'Reilly and Achari. But now
Mhm.
that they're gone, like going into the season, I think they're pretty solid.
Yeah, I agreed. I think Toronto's going to be fun to watch. And I hate saying that as
Yeah.
a Calgary fan, but
Ottawa, I don't know if they'll be able to claw their way into a playoff spot,
I think they'll be in the conversation.
but I
but-
think Buffalo takes that spot.
yeah, I'd agree.
Do you guys see Boston in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think of the Atlantic? Is it 4 or 5 teams coming out of the Atlantic for you guys?
4.
Yeah, but I'd agree with you. Boston, Tampa, Toronto, Florida.
So same, not same standings necessarily, but same teams.
I'd say same
Yeah, but I
teams.
say like it depends on Vasilevsky too. And like it depends always on how healthy teams are. But I think Buffalo can jump into one of those spots, and I think
Who
it
would
might
they
be
take out?
Tampa.
Tampa?
Yeah.
Or Florida? I guess Tampa's out their goalie, right?
Yeah, just with the goalie,
For
and
the
if there's any
start.
other injuries too, just because they are getting a little older and they've spent a lot of their draft capital and things the last few years.
Yeah, it's
I
been
could
a
see
busy
them-
past few years for them.
Yeah, I mean, there's no shame in taking a step back when you go to
No,
three
absolutely,
straight finals. so.
absolutely. So no, I interesting races to watch all around.
Yeah, that division I think will be one of the more exciting.
Yeah.
Buffalo finished 1 point behind Florida last season.
Yeah,
So
What do we think about Florida? Like,
I think they'll be a lot harder this year than they were last year.
yeah,
Last year, I think
harder? What do you mean?
like harder
better?
to play against, and they will be better in the standings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Who did they gain? Because I know they lost Gudis, but who did they gain in the offseason?
I forget who they even brought in. We can pull up the lines.
Yeah,
here,
I'm
but
pulling it up right here.
I just feel like the situation around, like last year, it was kind of crazy with the Huberdeau trade and everything, and the Kachuk
Yeah.
trade. I just feel like they're more settled as a team anyway. Like they went to the final last year. Excuse me. They went to the final and they did really well as a team. I just feel like now that they're settled, they don't have the media whirlwind going on. or
it's
anything.
so crazy to see the difference in Kachuk versus like Flames versus Florida.
Florida's not making the playoffs.
You don't think so?
No.
I think they're going to be really because like Verhaeghe.
First line: Carter Verhaeghe, Barkov, Evan Rodriguez. Second line: Nick Cousins, E2 Luosterainen, Matt Kachuk.
It's a pretty good line.
I like that Luosterainen. I think he's pretty good.
Third line: Sam Moskovich, Lundell, Reinhardt. Fourth line: Lomberg, Stenlund, Lawrence.
I also love Lomberg.
Serviceable forwards:
Yeah, I think they're
Defenseman.
good.
Gustav Forsling and OEL. No,
I think they're solid. I think OEL is going to be a lot better than he was in Vancouver. I think he really struggled there.
I think he's on the last hole of his career. Forget back 9, forget back 3. I think he's on the last hole of his career.
I love OEL. I always have.
Second line: Niko Mikkola and Dmitry Kulikov. Third line: Josh Mahura and Uvis Balinskis. No, I think Buffalo takes their spot.
You think it'll be Florida that falls out?
I think it is.
Okay. I do think
could-
Buffalo takes a spot.
It could, in theory, also be Tampa.
Yeah, I could see Tampa falling
Because
out.
if you,
I would see Tampa
because
falling out over
8
Florida.
weeks, 8 weeks is a lot.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say Boston, Toronto,
Yeah.
Buffalo, Ottawa.
Okay.
Bold.
I'm gonna go bold on this one.
I mean,
I like it.
Ottawa's a good team.
Yeah,
They got to get
Uh,
Norris back in there, though.
he is playing he's playing out of his no contact jersey, so
that's it.
he is slated to
That's good.
get in with the first couple weeks here from last I heard. But I don't have confidence in Florida. If that fluke for Johansson was just that, a fluke, and they just stumble and stumble and stumble out of the gates for these 8 weeks, you can't, because 8 weeks is probably around that kind of 15, 20 game area.
Yeah, because like just before Christmas, I think is a quarter of the season.
You can't run Vass 60 games.
No.
No.
Like especially coming back from an injury like this is my bread and butter. He had the disc.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've worked on so many people in my massage therapy practice that had that surgery, or I worked on them before they would go for that surgery and then they come back. And if it goes well, like people's lives absolutely change because of that surgery.
Which, by all accounts, it has gone well so far.
And it's very it's not very invasive. The incision is like a millimeter because it's just so easy to do.
Yeah.
And like the recovery is not nearly as bad as like when Mark Stone had his back surgery. That disc surgery is a lot less invasive.
Mhm.
And then of course, like just from the rehab standpoint, it's way easier to do because you don't have nearly as much scar tissue and it doesn't invade into the muscles or the joint itself because it's just such a small incision.
Yeah.
So I feel like once he is back, he'll be like he won't take much time to adjust and be worried about his injury because it will feel so much better.
So I'm just gonna write down everyone's standings prediction just so we can check back on them at the end of the year and see how well we did. So first, I'm gonna put Toronto first.
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Boston second.
Second, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I'm gonna put Buffalo third, and I'll put Ottawa fourth. What do you guys say?
I think the Ottawa's a bit of a stretch.
I would say Toronto first, Boston second,
Buffalo.
Buffalo third.
And I think Florida.
I think Florida. I agree. Me and
Both of you guys
Landon
say
are on the
Toronto,
same page.
Boston, Buffalo, Florida.
Yeah, I think.
I don't see Detroit or Ottawa being better than Florida this year. But Ottawa is so interesting, though.
And then for your bottom,
Montreal is too, though. Like
Montreal is, I think we're going to sleep on them all year, but they're actually going to be surprising us.
Montreal could be there as well.
I think we do have a little bias going in, but yeah, I think they'll surprise us. Because Suzuki and Caulfield are good.
They're good.
They're really good.
And
they're
you
fun
got
to
Kirby
watch.
Doc as well.
Yeah, I forgot about Doc.
He's on my bench in fantasy.
Yeah, and they've got Slefkovsky.
Yeah.
They got a good team.
my bottom four. So my full standings: Toronto, Boston, Buffalo, Ottawa, Tampa, Florida, Detroit, Montreal.
Montreal on the bottom.
Montreal on the bottom.
I mean,
don't think
look
so.
at that division, though. That's a tough
Yeah,
division.
that's a tough
I like the
division.
DeBrincat ad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, DeBrincat was a good ad, but I just don't think it was quite enough. They need like one more person who can skate.
Yeah.
They have the shooters. They need a skater.
Bottom four for y'all.
Ooh.
Montreal, Ottawa,
Detroit,
Detroit.
Tampa.
No.
Tampa's last.
Tampa, Detroit. Detroit's last.
So Phil, Toronto, Boston, Buffalo, Florida, Montreal, Ottawa, Tampa, Detroit.
Yes.
Okay, Landon.
Yeah, I think I will go. So we're going like. I think Detroit will just miss, and I think Ottawa will just miss.
So who are you putting above who?
We'll go Ottawa, Detroit, and then Tampa Bay.
In Montreal,
Yeah.
last.
Yeah, I think Montreal's still going to be last in that division.
Okay. Moving on to the Metro.
That's another jam-packed division.
That is a tough division. Last year, Carolina finished first, New Jersey second, Rangers third, Islanders fourth, and then running out the division was Pittsburgh, Washington, Philly, and Columbus. What do we think heading into this season, boys?
Oh, man.
Well, I think Carolina is.
Carolina looks strong.
They're my Stanley Cup pick, I think, from the
Yeah?
East. From the East, I think it could be Carolina. When Svechnikov gets back and if he stays healthy. Because last year, that's what killed their team was Svechnikov.
If there was a team to go to the Cup from that division, maybe not from the conference, from that division, I would agree. I'd say Carolina.
Yeah. Like, they're so solid. And they have the defense. Like, their D-core, they have Orlov on the third pairing.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. Because last year, he was one of the highest, like, valued players at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
The Islanders beat Pittsburgh by 2 points.
Oh, that's okay.
And then it's a stark drop-off. Carolina 113, New Jersey 112, pretty tight. Rangers 107, Islanders 93, Pittsburgh 91. After this, Washington 80, Philadelphia 75, Columbus 59.
Washington's going to do better.
Yeah, I'm very curious about Washington this year. Because they made some good moves. Like,
Yeah.
picking up Sandin, I think, was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like Sandin. And,
It's a tough one.
yeah. They need their young guys to actually play really well. Like, Connor McMichael.
Yeah.
Those guys, they need them to step up into their role a
But
little
no, I
bit.
agree. Carolina, Rangers, Islanders, Washington.
Okay.
Okay, our top four is like very different.
Yeah, mine's a little different than that,
Landon,
too.
go ahead.
All right, I think New Jersey's going to take it in the top of the division.
Sure.
And then I think Carolina, and then New York.
Which
and
one?
then, sorry, Rangers. But that's also because I'm a little bit biased.
Yep.
And then I think Pittsburgh will,
Yeah?
yeah.
We have an identical top four.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I think Pittsburgh's so
I must be
interesting.
missing something about New Jersey then. If you guys are both saying they're going to win.
I think New Jersey, yeah, they're just deeper than Carolina, I think, too.
Okay, I'm definitely
What do you
missing
think, Alex?
something in New Jersey.
Like their first power play, you couldn't do that on NHL. And,
No.
like it's so good.
Yeah. I just have, because when teams tend to come up short than expectations, they tend to blow the doors off the next season.
Yeah.
And I feel like New Jersey and Lindy Ruff and company are looking at the standings and thinking we were 1 point back. Not this season. Absolutely not. I think New Jersey's going to come out firing on all cylinders.
No, I'm looking at this lineup and I agree.
I think their game tonight, like their game tonight versus Detroit, they're going to kill Detroit.
I think.
Well, I guess you could say that about Edmonton and Vancouver, and Edmonton got killed last night.
I love Antti Raanta. He's a great goalie. Their season hinges on Freddie. Carolina's.
It does, but I think Pyotr Kochetkov is going to end up finishing the season for Carolina.
You
If I'm
think?
being honest, I think he'll be their starter for the second half.
Okay.
That's my big bold prediction.
Bottom third. What do we say?
Philly.
Yeah, Philly.
Philly's the bottom.
Philly's the bottom. I don't want to put them there, but I feel like I'm gonna have to put them
Philly,
there.
Columbus.
CBJ.
I forget what I said for my top four.
Yeah, you said
Phil's-
Washington in yours, but I would put
Phil's,
Washington.
Carolina, Rangers, Islanders, and Washington.
I'm going to change that.
Okay.
Washington's out. New Jersey's in.
Yeah.
In fourth?
New Jersey in fourth.
New Jersey in fourth. Okay, and JD.
I'm so sad to see Toffoli leave Calgary.
Washington,
Yeah.
you putting in fifth?
Yeah.
And then CBJ is sixth. Wait. Where are you putting the Penguins?
Penguins fifth, actually. Washington sixth.
Pittsburgh, Washington, CBJ,
CJ,
Philly.
and then Philly.
Landon.
For my bottom four here, I think the Islanders will miss. And then Washington. And then Columbus and then Philly.
CBJ and then Philly.
Just because Columbus has to do better than they did last year. Especially with Fantilli. Like,
That's true.
Landon and I have identical Metropolitan standings.
all right, well, that'll be a good one. It's
let's-
just,
let's
that's such
see
a
if we're right.
jam-packed one, too. Like, that's a tough division. Like, because Washington's not a bad team, but I don't see them making it past those other teams there.
Moving over to the Western Conference in the Central Division. Last year, Colorado finished first, Dallas second, Minnesota third, Winnipeg fourth, Nashville fifth, St. Louis sixth, and then Arizona and Chicago finishing seventh and eighth, respectively. What do we think, gents?
I'm just going to pull up a different thing here.
Yeah,
so
we had the wrong
we had
visual up.
it was working until now, but
Pre-expansion.
yeah, we have the two new West teams, so we got to
We got to pull it up. Give us a two
Okay, I'm just
seconds.
gonna.
Winnipeg looks decent, though.
Colorado finished with 109
Colorado
points.
looks really good again.
Dallas
now.
finished with 108, so another point behind the division leader. Minnesota finishing with 103 points in third. Winnipeg with 95.
This division is spaced out way more than the two we just
I
covered.
agree, yeah. What about Chicago, though?
They're still going to be bad.
What about
They're
Chicago?
still going to be bad? We think they're still going to be bad? I think
What
they're
do you-
going to be
okay.
Well, they just lost Hall.
Are
That's
they going to
true.
finish fourth?
In this division, I still see them finishing last.
I don't see them finishing last.
I do.
They're going to beat Arizona.
I don't think they're going to beat Arizona. I could see St. Louis falling to last, maybe. But I don't think they're going to beat Arizona.
I think they're going to beat Arizona.
I have such a soft spot for Arizona, though. I love them.
Ooh.
Karel Vejmelka. I love Karel Vejmelka. But, like, Logan Cooley and Clayton Keller, Nick Schmaltz,
Yeah.
J.J. They don't really have any
I don't
big
see it.
defensemen. They got Dumba and J.J. Moser, but
I don't see it.
So first I have Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
Second I have Colorado.
Yeah.
Third I have Minnesota. Fourth I have Nashville.
Okay.
Fifth I have St. Louis.
ooh,
Sixth I have Winnipeg.
hates the Jets.
So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the Jets are going to be around the kind of 5th, 6th area in January, February.
Okay. I mean, that's a fair assessment.
And then they're going to pull the chute they're going to trade Hellebuyck, and then whatever assets they get back, they're not going to get a $10 million goalie.
Yeah.
And your goalies tend to kind of pull out wins for you.
Yeah.
I see them finishing 6th, Arizona 7th, Chicago 8th.
Okay.
Okay. I would say Colorado first, Dallas second, Nashville third, Winnipeg fourth, then Minnesota, St. Louis, Chicago, Arizona.
Okay.
That's what I would say. I think Colorado's so stacked.
This division is where we all go our separate ways, I
Yeah.
think.
I mean, Colorado and Dallas are going to be fun.
Yeah.
Landon, what's your central?
Very similar to the top two. I'm going to go with Colorado at the top, but I think Dallas is going to be right on their heels.
Yeah, it's going to be tight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because Dallas is a little more experienced. I guess that's not even
Not
true.
really.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Recency bias, I guess. But
Yeah, it's
yeah,
Colorado,
so
Dallas.
Colorado, Dallas, and then Winnipeg and Arizona.
What?
Yeah.
Arizona.
No way.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Why?
I'm big betting on Arizona.
Whoa.
I
Oh
think-
my
I
God.
think that they are tired of losing.
If
and I
there
think that
is
they're
a
good.
playoff series taken in Mullet Arena, I'm going to set myself on fire.
I will go to Mullet Arena to do that. I'll cover that game. I honestly think Arizona looks so good this year.
No.
Oh my. Okay.
I think that
who
they
are your bottom 4?
Okay.
I
Nash
Oh my God.
okay.
so I think-
after Arizona in 4th.
I think Minnesota's going to fall out because of their $15 million in dead cap space
Yeah.
that they have this year. I think if they get one injury to a key player, they're done for. I don't think that they can recover because of that cap
No,
space
I agree.
problem.
Yeah.
And then St. Louis, or then I would go Nashville, St. Louis, and
Nashville,
Chicago.
St. Louis, Chicago.
Just because Nashville did impress me the other day, and
So-
St. Louis I don't have high hopes for.
Wow. Okay.
I know. I knew that was going to be a
That- wow.
surprise.
That. Okay. Cool.
That's crazy.
Wow. Sure.
Oh, and Matthias Michelli on Arizona as well. He almost won the Calder last year. Like, he's so good.
Yeah. I don't
And-
see 4th. I think.
They sent Gunther
Wow.
down, but I think Gunther's coming back too. They will have to go get another defenseman after. But I mean, they just got Sean Dursey too. Like, give Dursey a couple of months to settle in there.
19 minutes left here. Moving on to the Pacific.
The fun one.
Vegas, Edmonton, LA, Seattle. Vegas with 111, Edmonton with 109, LA 104, Seattle 100, Calgary 93, Vancouver 83, San Jose 60, Anaheim 58. Where do we see the Pacific in
This
standings?
one's so fun. I love this.
Yeah, this is
division.
a pretty weak division, aside
Oh,
from the
ye-
top teams.
Yeah. I think Vegas is still number one. They have pretty much the same team as they did last year, and we saw that team win.
Yeah.
So
Like,
they
you'd
did it
be-
all.
It'd be hard to bet against them.
It's very hard to bet against them.
Because
I-
also they didn't appear to have that cup hangover.
no, not at all. They were right on it. Vegas is number one for sure.
Okay. After that,
Edmonton,
Edmonton,
Flames,
Calgary,
Vancouver.
Okay, you think Vancouver's making the
you
jump
have
this
no faith in Seattle.
No faith in Seattle.
Okay.
I think Seattle will get fifth.
You think Seattle will get 5th? Then you have.
And then it will be the Ducks. No, the Kings, then the Ducks, then the Sharks.
LA Kings, Anaheim Ducks,
Yeah.
San Jose Sharks.
I think Calgary's making the playoffs this year. I don't think we're gonna let last year happen
No,
again.
they have some energy now.
They have energy. They've got exciting rookies. Coronado's gonna win everything. Coronado's gonna win the Vezina.
Landon Brown.
We're just gonna skip over that.
I
Okay.
like Phil's pick. All
It's
right,
not the craziest thing I've heard today. The craziest thing I've heard today is Arizona in 4th.
The
But
craziest thing I've heard today is that Markstrom was gonna score Calgary's first goal of the season.
speaking of Landon Brown,
all right, I think I will go Vegas Golden Knights and then Edmonton, even after that dreadful performance last night. And then I
that
think
dreadful performance makes me put them in 2nd.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think LA and then Calgary.
I like
LA,
that.
Yeah.
Calgary. Okay, we have an identical top 4, Landon Brown.
You
Okay.
guys are like the same head.
We are bottom 4. I'm saying Seattle. Ooh, Seattle, Vancouver, Anaheim, San Jose.
Yeah, I could see it.
Vancouver.
I do think Seattle is going to struggle a little bit with their goalie tandem this year.
I don't know. I think Vancouver looks good. I think Vancouver is going to be able to do it.
They will be. I think they'll put up a fight for that last
I
spot.
think having 3 Canadian teams out of that division into the playoffs would be so good.
Yeah, it would be really fun to watch
It
too
would be
because
so sweet.
it's the right 3 teams you want playing
Yeah.
each other too.
And then it's so good for whoever makes it in because they don't have as much travel. They're kind of chilling.
Yeah.
Landon Brown, your bottom 4.
My bottom 4 are going to go Vancouver, Seattle, Anaheim, and then San Jose.
Okay.
So now I gotta ask you guys a question. Do we want to predict playoffs and cup winner, or do we want to move on to individual awards? Because we can move
We
individual
can
awards to next
speculate
show.
a little bit.
Yeah, let's speculate.
Let's speculate and then do individual awards.
Okay. Speculate to what extent?
Should we do like 2 teams from the West, 2 teams from the East? Like
Do you want to do conference finals
Conference
and then
Conference finals.
Okay, conference final.
Vegas. They have not missed a beat. And then I don't know. I think it's going to be Vegas Edmonton again.
you think of Vegas, Edmonton?
I think Vegas Edmonton.
I'm
If
thinking Dallas.
Edmonton can get it figured out.
'Kay,
Dallas.
Like I think Dallas and Edmonton. I think Vegas might
really?
run out of steam in the playoffs.
That'd be exciting too. I would like that.
I think Dallas, Edmonton for my West.
Landon's is Dallas.
But I'm also I love
Edmonton.
Jason Robertson and Rupe Hintz and
Yeah.
like Jamie Benn and Pavelski and Ottinger and Miro Heiskanen. I like all those guys.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm a little bit of a Dallas fan, I think. Just
I don't know.
secretly, I
I
wouldn't
don't
say it
know
out
about
loud.
Edmonton versus Vegas though. I don't know if Edmonton can get that done.
Well, I mean, know what? Everyone bets against Edmonton and then they show up when they need to. And then they disappear right when they're
Yeah,
needed
like
the most.
last night.
Yeah.
I don't think Edmonton beats Vegas,
Okay.
but we're 1 game in, so
Yeah. We'll see. We got a whole
we'll see.
Phil,
We can
what's
do
your-
mid-season predictions again.
Phil, what's your conference final?
Vegas Edmonton.
Vegas
I'm
Edmonton.
sticking with that. I think, and then Vegas.
Conference finals, Vegas Edmonton.
I think so. Is that possible?
If one of them winds up in a wild card.
I guess I'm going against my.
Yeah.
But I mean, Edmonton
I don't
could
know, man.
end up in that wild card spot.
You
They've
know
done it
what? Sure.
before.
Vegas Edmonton.
Vegas, Calgary, sure.
Calgary, sure.
No. Calgary's not making the conference final.
Vegas Edmonton. Sure. One of them winds up in a wild card spot.
Yeah. knows?
I agree with Landon Brown. Dallas Edmonton. East.
The East.
The
This one's going to
East.
break my heart because I'm not picking the Rangers.
Who are you picking?
I think it's got to be Toronto.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it has to be Toronto and New Jersey.
You think Toronto?
I know I
and
said
New
earlier I
Jersey?
picked Carolina to win the cup, but I've changed my mind
Okay.
because I don't think they have the depth if they run into injuries like New Jersey does.
Mr. Trombley.
Oh man. I'm gonna say Toronto as well,
Okay.
and I'm gonna heal little Landon Brown's heart, and I'm gonna say the Rangers
The
Oh,
Rangers.
good.
Okay. I have
or Carolina.
I have a Carolina Toronto conference final.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a pretty.
we got a
solid
lot of
pick.
faith in Toronto. This is a little scary.
I know.
Cup final. What do we say? Do you guys need reminders on who you said?
I know who I picked. Yeah,
Toronto, Vegas.
Phil says Toronto,
Vegas.
Vegas.
I think I might go Toronto, Dallas. I know no one wants to see that.
I like
Toronto.
that too, though.
It could be the brothers playing each other, the Robertsons.
Toronto, Vegas from Phil Trombley.
and if it's Toronto, Vegas, I think Vegas wins the cup again.
Yeah.
I think Toronto, Dallas wins the cup again too. Not again, but Dallas wins.
Yeah. They have the goalie, like Ottinger.
I'm gonna say Edmonton, Carolina for my cup
Edmonton,
final.
Carolina.
Throwing it back to 06.
I like that too, though. Oh man, I'm so excited.
Just the visual of Freddie Anderson going on to the cup final after beating Toronto.
That would actually be pretty
It
fun.
fills
be
me with
fun.
such a joy.
I like it.
And then the 2023-2024 Stanley Cup final winners are who, gentlemen?
I'm picking Dallas. I don't want to bet it. I'm going to bet against Toronto, and I hope they hear this and prove me wrong.
Vegas Golden Knights.
Vegas Golden Knights repeat.
Vegas Golden Knights. Especially if Eichel gets fired up.
Yeah, Eichel changed that team.
Yeah,
as he
and
should
as
have,
like
but-
a 50% player, like just coming out of injury.
Yeah.
Now he's fully healthy, and he's good.
I hope.
I'm so sad Calgary didn't get Eichel.
I know.
Oh, it was so close. I remember leaving the Saddle Dome the night that there was a rumor that it got announced that it was between Calgary and Vegas, and everyone was chanting, "We want Eichel."
I like it.
Oh, can you imagine Calgary right now if we had Eichel? It'd be crazy.
It'd be a different team.
We'd be a completely different team.
Yeah.
We
I
could.
I hope that Carter McInnes is listening.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Are you going to make his day with your pick?
Oh God.
I'm saying Edmonton.
Okay.
I'm saying Edmonton's gonna. Yeah,
See, but I can see that too. Like,
I can. Yeah,
Just after last night, though, it's a little recency
it's
bias
tough
again,
after last night
but
to
that was
say
hard
it,
to
but
I'm not
watch.
putting a lot of weight on it, but I think. Yeah.
Just knowing they're capable of that insane of a meltdown
Yeah.
is just not
Against
confidence
Vancouver.
inspiring.
And
Yeah.
I did win my bracket challenge at work last year because I predicted Vegas going all the way.
Nice.
So maybe I'm wrong this year. Maybe I'm not.
It's so hard to bet against Vegas.
Yeah, especially
it's
because
so hard to bet against
The
Vegas.
way they deal players and stuff, too, is just so cutthroat.
just the way they play.
Yeah.
Like, oh. Again, like a team like Calgary just has no chance.
I think I have Ivan Barbashev in both hockey pools I'm in this year because
Nice.
I love Ivan Barbashev.
I
He's
have
a
Eichel
really
and
good
Marchessault.
guy, eh?
Yeah, he got a goal the other night, and he
I got-
throws hits. He's good.
I got Eichel in like the 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah,
Like,
he
I
felt-
was so surprised I got Eichel that late. And Marchessault I got in like the 7th round.
People like to sleep on Marcia, so
Yeah.
because he's not like the all-star because they have so many stars on that team that
Yeah.
like Mark Stone and they trade away a lot of their stars too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty, awards?
Curveball before we get to awards. Who gets the Conn Smythe?
Jack Eichel.
Miro
Okay.
Heiskanen.
So Phil says Eichel. Landon says Heiskanen. I'm gonna say
McDavid.
Dry.
Ooh. No.
No,
I think if
I'm gonna-
Edmonton, if
I'm gonna say
Edmonton wins the
Draisaitl 'cause
cup,
it's- I'm gonna say Draisaitl because it's funnier.
if Edmonton wins the cup, McDavid wins.
Like Jan
the
Mark
Conn
or something?
Smythe.
Jack Campbell.
Yeah,
Imagine.
that would be the comeback story of the year if any of the Edmonton goalies got it.
Okay, so getting on to awards, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Rocket, the Art Ross, the Hart, the Vesna, the Selkie, the Norris, and the Calder.
Can we give a quick shout out to the Willie O'Ree?
Sure.
Shout out the
I know
Willie
you have
O'Ree
a
award.
connection to that because
Very,
your
very special award.
girlfriend's dad has
Girlfriend's
won it.
dad won it 2 years ago, I want to say. Very cool award. Very cool trophy. It's like Willie O'Ree's like fedora.
I
All
love
cool.
that. That's amazing.
So cool. Almost got a chance to meet him when we went to LA earlier this summer, but he wasn't around. But him and my girlfriend's dad are on, like, they're very good friends. Apparently Willie O'Ree can outdrink anybody. And that's all I'll say on that.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, I'm gonna try and get Kevin on the show at one point because I think that'd be really cool to have. He runs the Hockey Heroes program.
Would he be hurt if I call? Would he be offended if I called him Big Kev?
Big Kev.
It's gonna come out. And if you're listening, I'm sorry if you're gonna come on the show.
He's not
It's-
listening, but his
it-
daughter is. That's
It's
for
gonna
sure.
come out.
But I want to try and get him on the show because a lot of things he does with Hockey Heroes is very special, and they have some pretty cool events going on. So,
Yeah, getting on to the individual awards, starting off with the Rocket Richard for the top goal scorer.
McDavid.
Ooh, I think I'm gonna go with Jack Hughes this year.
Phil says McDavid. Landon says Jack Hughes. I am going to say. Yeah, I'm going to say McDavid as well.
Oh, so we don't have a Matthews or McKinnon pick.
I thought about
No.
Matthews,
Yeah.
but no, it's gonna be McDavid.
Art Ross, most points.
Art Ross, I would go with McDavid. I wouldn't bet against him. He's gonna win that for the next decade.
Yeah, I agree. McDavid again.
McDavid across the board for the Art Ross. Hart, MVP for the team, voted on by the writers of the Professional Hockey Writers Association.
Eichel.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Eichel.
Phil says Eichel.
Alex, you might have to take this. I'm still thinking. This is tough.
Eichel.
Voted on by the writers. Last year it was McDavid. This year I'm going to give it to Draisaitl.
Draisaitl.
Okay.
I feel like that's his journeyman Hart.
Yeah.
Like, you know how Fleury got the Vezina a couple years ago because he had to put up with Bedard pretty much his entire career?
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Like,
fair.
like Dry's not going to deserve it, but come on, though.
Yeah, you got to
I
give
think
him
I'm gonna give
something.
it to Draisaitl because
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
You got to give
at
him
some
something.
point.
I mean, that's a good pick. I think I'm gonna go with McKinnon on the Hart.
That's a good pick.
McKinnon on the Hart. Vezina, best goalie.
Ooh, save me for last.
Save you for last. Okay. Landon Brown, you want to take lead? Or you want me to take lead?
You can go first.
The best goalie in the NHL this season is going to be. Yeah, I'm going to have to think about this for a little bit here.
I know who I think I would pick for the greatest save percentage, and it's going to be Karel Vejmelka. But I think for best goalie, it has to be Shesterkin because I love Shesterkin.
It has to be Shesterkin. Okay, Shesterkin.
But Karel Vejmelka is my close second.
You know what?
Don't steal my pick. I don't think you will, but
I'm probably not going to. From your Vegas Golden Knights,
Fuck.
Logan Thompson.
oh, you picked the other night.
I did pick the other night. You picked Aiden Hill?
I'm going Aiden
You're
Hill.
going Aiden Hill.
Okay, no one's going Sorokin.
I
or
just had my
Sorokin.
first mess up on air in
No.
2 years.
Yeah,
I caught
happens.
it though. I'm going Aiden Hill.
Okay.
I'm going to Aiden Hill. Calgary
Selke.
boy.
Selke. This is a tough one.
Now that Bergeron's out of the way.
Forward who
I think
sells in
Nick
defensive-
Suzuki. Just because he said his favorite player growing up was Patrice Bergeron. That's the only reason I'm picking Nick Suzuki.
Top defensive
Interesting.
forward with the fewest goals scored against.
Oh, actually, he plays for Montreal, so I don't want to do that. I'm going to go with Marchessault.
Ooh,
Okay.
good pick.
Landon Marchessault. I am going to say from your LA Kings, Philippe Danault.
Okay.
Ooh, also a good pick. I don't know.
Carolina team could be good because they have such a good defense.
Yeah, but you have to pick a forward that's good at defense.
Yeah, it's got to be a forward.
I know, but I mean, like, they're not going to get scored on as much if you have a good decor. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Mangiapane.
Mangiapane, okay, I like it.
Mangiapane,
Mangiapane.
maybe.
We're following our heart with these.
Yeah, we are. We really are.
The Norris for the James Norris Memorial Trophy for the best defenseman goes to who, gentlemen?
Oh, Miro Heiskanen's taking it this year.
Okay.
If you can tell, I love Miro Heiskanen.
I can tell.
I agree. Actually, I think Miro Heiskanen.
I think it's his turn. What about you, Alex? What are you thinking?
Best defenseman in the league is going to be
Rasmus Anderson.
no. I'm gonna go back to Vegas for this one.
Ooh.
You gonna throw it to Petey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna go Petro.
It's a-
Interesting.
That's a it's a good
I
pick.
think I agree with you on Heiskanen though. I think that's a good pick.
Heiskanen?
I think he's going hard this year. Like Fox has had his turn and Makar has had his turn. It's Heiskanen's year.
And probably the easiest question I'm gonna ask for the rest of the show: the Calder Trophy.
Fantilli.
Is there any is there any sleeper rookies this year? Like when
Fantilli.
Kaprizov was like 24 when he came in. Is there any of those guys?
Are there
Coronado?
any sleeper picks?
Does
Coronado's-
Coronado count?
I think Coronado is a strong pick for Calder.
I mean, if
He'll count. He only played like 2
if
NHL
there
games.
wasn't
last year.
Bedard, yes.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be Bedard, obviously.
Yeah.
Let's do this. If there wasn't Bedard, who would be your pick? Because I think all three of us are in agreement that it's gonna be Bedard.
Yeah.
Okay, so the hockey writers did put out a article ranking the top, I'm going to say 10 prospects. Oh, they did. They weren't way more than 10. Okay, that's going to read out the first 10 then.
Oh, actually, I think I have someone who could challenge Bedard.
Oh,
and it's
really?
Logan Cooley.
I was going to say
Ooh.
Bedard is first, Cooley is second, Adam Fantilli is third, Devin Levi fourth from your Sabres.
Yeah.
Matthew Nyes is fifth. Luke Hughes from New Jersey Devils is
Ooh.
sixth. Leo Carlson from the Ducks is seventh.
It's hard to when you compare every position.
Shane
Yeah.
Wright from the Kraken is eighth. Calgary Flames Dustin Wolf coming in ninth.
No, he's not gonna
And
do it.
rounding out the top 10 is Brant Clark from the Los Angeles Kings. I am going to say...
We're running out of time as well, so
Yeah. I'm going to say... Fantilli.
really?
Yeah.
If there was no Bedard, or
Yeah.
if even with Bedard?
I'm going to say even with Bedard.
Even with Bedard, Fantilli.
He's on a better team than Bedard.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Fantilli.
Fantilli?
Although
I think I'm
it's
gonna
going to
stick
be
with Cooley.
Bedard. It's going to be Bedard.
I'll take Cooley.
It's going to be Bedard.
It will be Bedard.
I would love to see Coronado in the conversation if he counts. I don't know if he counts, but
He will, I think.
yeah,
He's not 25, is he?
I don't know.
Landon, who do you say?
I'm going to go with Cooley.
I'm going to go with Cooley. Well, that
Wow.
wraps up our super long
Yeah,
2-hour
we talked
episode
for 2
of
hours. That's
Coast to
crazy.
Coast, boys.
And I only swore once.
And it
You
was a
swore?
half swear.
Yeah, when you said Logan Thompson.
Oh, I didn't.
I caught it though.
All right, yeah.
You went have
Um,
fun.
Well,
yeah, that's what I said.
yeah, well,
See you guys next week.
yeah, we'll
Yes.
be back next week.
Thank you for joining.
Hopefully with some more kind of news here for you.
We're gonna have so much news.
We're gonna have so much news.
So many
we're gonna,
games.
We're gonna fill you up to. We're gonna fill you with news up to your ears. For this week, I've been Alex Verco with
Phil Tremblay.
and
Lennon Brown.
have a
Enjoy
nice
the
week,
hockey.
guys.